The ANC leader, President Cyril Ramaphosa, has today said that the ANC has declared a commitment to sustaining a fundamental socio-economic change. He's vowed to ensure that the ideals outlined in the Freedom Charter are fully realized. Ramaphosa was delivering his closing remarks to the ANC Lekgotla a short while ago.
Today we have agreed, and we are willing and able and indeed determined to maintain the momentum of fundamental socio-economic change in our country. We have re-endorsed that broad agreement. We shall spare neither strength nor courage until all the ideals that were set out by our forebears in the Freedom Charter are realized. We know that there are social and political forces working very hard to undermine our vision of the Freedom Charter and to reverse the gains of the freedom that our people won in 1994. It is important that we correctly understand the strategies and the tactics of our opponents so that we are better empowered and better able to defeat them.
Our reporter Juniour Khumalo, part of our team at the Lekgotla. Junior, good afternoon to you. Obviously, the last 48 hours dominated by that decision by the ANC to formally suspend former President Jacob Zuma. The President speaking, President Cyril Ramaphosa speaking now. What was his main message?
Indeed, Stephen, the address by the President, the closing address at this Lekgotla, was also dominated by that suspension of the former President. Although President Cyril Ramaphosa did not mention Zuma by name, he did say that our enemies are trying to work to destroy the ANC by forming these parties that would look to be more radical than the ANC, but their intention is to destabilize the governing party. So it was strong words directed at the former president by Cyril Ramaphosa. But one of the outcomes that was very key to this Lekgotla here was that all the alliance partners have actually agreed to work together and campaign together going into these national and provincial elections. I say it was key because we know that the SACP had actually earlier threatened to pull out of the alliance and actually campaign alone. They were unhappy about a number of things. Those include the public sector wage negotiations that collapsed a couple of years ago between COSATU, the unions, as well as the Treasury, National Treasury. So the threat by the SACP seems to have subsided. Now they have agreed to actually work with the ANC as well as COSATU leading up to these crucial elections, Stephen.
There are many different elements to all of this. We all know the ANC is under more pressure than ever before. Quite strong criticism, it seemed, for some opposition parties, and maybe, just reading between the lines here, Junior, you do that better than I do, was it all about MK?
Indeed, there was strong criticism because President Cyril Ramaphosa said that there was attempts by certain parties to form coalitions to try and remove the ANC from power. But also, more importantly, he spoke about that International Court of Justice ruling that was delivered on Friday, saying that there are international powers that might be unhappy about that ruling. I'll just read a bit of what he said about that. He said that this judgment has exposed the moral bankruptcy of those countries who have chosen to allow a genocide to take place under their nose. He did not mention those countries by name, but it seemed to suggest that it might be the US and the UK who have come out in opposition of South Africa's stance, as well as that judgment by the ICJ. He even went on to say that South Africa might feel this opposition and this antagonism from the US as well as the UK through a possible regime change in South Africa. He says that these countries are unhappy about the ANC-led government taking such a strong stance, so they might be able to support weaker parties or parties that are more sympathetic to Israel and by extension to those countries such as the US and the UK, Stephen.
Junior, thank you very much indeed. Juniour Khumalo, of course, part of our team there at the ANC NEC Lekgotla.